The Aaron Rodgers situation, look, it's going to continue to be at or near the top of what we talk about, Myles, until it gets resolved. Now, one thing I've noticed moving possibly toward as it relates to this is it looks like guys who know him and who have talked to him, whether it's John Kuhn, the former fullback of the Packers, or James Jones, the former receiver who played with Rodgers and the Packers, they're potentially serving as surrogates to get out this idea that this is all fixable and it's all overblown. And this may be the beginnings of the Aaron Rodgers backpedal and an effort, if he doesn't get what he wants by way of a trade, to show up and play for Green Bay for another year. Because they really do have him in a box. And this gets to the point that Sims and I started making yesterday morning, Myles. You and I haven't had a chance to talk about this directly. The idea that from the Packers' perspective, if this guy wants to retire, so be it. So be it. We'll take back $30 million that you have already been paid. We'll avoid giving you $14.7 million in salary this year. And so be it. Fine. You don't want to play? Fine. And maybe that's actually better for the people who run the team than it is to trade him, because no matter how many draft picks you get, Aaron Rodgers is still going to play for someone else and make you look bad for moving on from him. Maybe by winning a Super Bowl and matching the number he won in 16 years with the Packers. Or maybe by winning 2. Or maybe after 2 or 3 years, the team that he's playing for releases him and he ends up with the Vikings or the Bears or the Lions. Not that that's unprecedented as it relates to a former Packers quarterback. So I think he's starting to realize that, number one, they're not going to budge. Number two, they may prefer retirement to trading him. So, number three, he needs to find a way that he can moonwalk his way right back into Lambeau Field. And I think that the stuff from Kuhn and Jones possibly is that signal that that's what may happen.
Sure. And look, if that's the case, then great. But, I think you're right that essentially these guys seem to be functioning as surrogates. And it's almost like, you're tuning into cable news and you're watching somebody talk for a politician. It's a little bit weird when it comes to an athlete, especially when that athlete has plenty of platforms to go on and just speak for himself. Right? I think, Mike, you've been saying this, I think, for the last week, that we probably need to hear directly from Aaron Rodgers. And I think that would probably clear a lot of these different things up that people are saying, whether it's, man, does Aaron Rodgers want to get the GM fired? And now it seems like, this thing is going to back off a little bit because that's what James Jones is saying and that's what John Kuhn's saying. It's not really about all of that. It's more that Aaron Rodgers has issues, yes, but they are fixable. If that's the case, let's hear from Aaron Rodgers. Let's hear him say it. And I think that will be very valuable for everybody involved, because if he really does want to get back with the Packers, Mike, then that's going to be a good avenue to try to make that happen. Or if he realizes that he has to be back with the Packers, then him saying something, anything, is probably going to be able to help that.
And if he keeps his mouth shut and the surrogates continue to periodically say what they're saying for as long as media will be seeking them out, then when Rodgers does show up, he can just kind of shrug and that kind of loose, calm, there's always things that we discuss, and there's always disagreements that you have in a relationship that lasts this long, and I think the media made too much of it, and kind of like what he did
stop listening
after
to Mike Florio.
Don't waste your time reading that crap. But
yes, exactly.
The last time this fire started, he put it out 2 days later. I just think that he's put himself in a weird kind of a spot here, and maybe it'll die down. Maybe it at some point we turn the page. At some point, something else is going to happen that is going to capture our attention, and at that point, maybe this just fizzles out until he shows up for off-season workouts, OTAs, mandatory minicamp. Within the next month or so, we'll know whether or not he's taking an aggressive posture. We don't have to wait for training camp. Mandatory minicamp. If he's not there, that's our sign that something's going on. So I just think, and I know that people in the media that I trust, that I've spoken to about this, and we kind of kick around ideas, there is a sense that he's just going to act like this is no big deal once he realizes he's in a corner and he's not willing to write a check for $30 million and give up football before he's ready to give up football. If the choices are play for us, play for no one, he's going to play for us. He's not going to go home, take his football, and give back nearly $30 million to Green Bay Packers Incorporated because they'll happily take it. And I think you could argue it is better to get the $30 million and not have him play than it is to get the draft picks, not get the $30 million, and have to watch him play and worry about what he's going to do and worry he's going to end up back in the NFC North, Myles. And, another piece of evidence in this regard, I know it's not on the rundown, but I want to mention it. Shefty trying to walk back the idea that he got the information last Thursday. It's claiming that he already had it when his tweet and his story both said the league and team sources told me on Thursday or whatever it was. Look, there's an effort, a broader effort, I think, to make Aaron Rodgers look better than the situation to date has made him look. And whether it's Kuhn's comments, whether it's Jones' comments, whether it's Shefty trying to make his report seem like something other than what it was, an effort by Rodgers and his camp to get this out on draft day, which I firmly believe this is all setting the stage for Rodgers to kind of do what's the big deal?
Yeah, it is. But I think we can even go back to Saturday at the Kentucky Derby when Mike Tirico said that he spoke to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron said that Tirico characterized him as being disappointed that the story had gotten out in that way, right? I think all of this sort of seems to go into that thought that Aaron Rodgers wants to be thought of in a good light, at least by Packers fans, because of course you remember Tirico even said that Aaron Rodgers emphasized how much he loves the Packers fans and how much he's loved his experience playing in Green Bay and things like that. So again, I think that with all of the different avenues that there are for players to say what it is that they want to say in these days, all Aaron Rodgers has to do is turn on his phone and make a 2-minute video, right? JJ Watt did that when the Texans released him, and you can look at any YouTube star in the world, right? All they do is they turn on their video for about 5 minutes, and then they say whatever it is they want to say. So it's not like Aaron has to go to some news outlet and say, hey, I want to do an interview. No, he can do whatever he wants to do on his own and in his own time. I feel like at this point, if he really wants to tamper things down and turn the temperature down on these things, just say it.
Yeah, and that video, if he would make one, would have a couple of million views just like that. And again, Tirico also said there is a fissure, there is a chasm between Rodgers and the front office.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.